The irony is that we were going to go to Vegas and like gamble a little bit, go to dinner, have some drinks, and then it just turned into just gambling.
All gambling. Men have taste buds on their nutsack.
I don't know why they call them condiments. They don't taste like either. All right, guys, welcome back to the Good Enough Podcast. Kind of start on an honest note for once, other than poop jokes. As everybody saw who listens to this, because at this point I think everybody follows us on Instagram, which we very much appreciate. We took last week off just to kind of in observance of everything that's happening on Earth. Because it's not even just our country anymore. And that, I don't know. It's hard to say stuff because we're two, as of last week, happy birthday, Ryan.
Oh, thank you.
Ryan's birthday. We're two 25-year-old white middle-class dudes, or at least grew up that way.
Yeah.
And so it was going to be hard for us to sit here and crack jokes when nobody's in a mood to laugh. We definitely talk about stuff on this podcast, but last week didn't feel like the week to sit down and try to lighten the mood because I feel like the mood earth-wide was a little heavier than it needed to be or than was appropriate to approach from the approach we wanted to take.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate everyone sticking around. We got a lot of good feedback on the Black Good Enough logo, which spent a bunch of time on because I don't know how to use Photoshop. I really liked it. It's been something we've been talking about for a little merch stuff or whatever, but as stupid as it is, we appreciate the love. It's kind of unavoidable to, although we like to have a silly time around here, kind of unavoidable to talk about things that are going on. Obviously the world is in a super, super crazy place. I don't think 8 weeks ago, we had 3 or 4-ish jobs between the two of us. Now I just got one back and you're out. And
yep.
Now we're
loving life though.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude. I haven't been happier. That's the God honest truth for sure. I think we're both kind of in the same spot.
Yep.
We both own our vehicles. We own like a weird spot. Like we own our stuff outright, like everything.
Finally, yes.
Yeah. Ryan bought himself a new truck, sold all the stuff we talked about in previous episodes. I own both my vehicles outright. It's a weird spot to be in at 25 because everyone our age is either like tanked it, working a job they probably don't like, which we've been there too, or married with kids. And I don't think many other in-betweens.
Yeah.
And we're in a spot where like you've been in a relationship for a long time and I haven't, but we own a bunch of shit that people don't own until they're like 35 plus.
Yep.
So that's super cool. So we got good stuff, but obviously the state of the world is in a different spot. And it would be naive and inappropriate for us to not at least touch on that. I'm not saying that anyone has to listen to anything we say. The podcast is literally called Good Enough. And not that we project our opinions on all that stuff because we try to keep it light, but shit's going crazy. Like there's no avoiding it. Shit's nuts, dude. Like you just moved to Sac. At least for the next few weeks, I live in the 40s. You live in the pocket. Like, dude, we live two places that people, even in Sac, who grew up in a bad spot of Sac, dream of moving to. And on the same regard, the Capital Ave is getting nailed.
Oh, yeah.
It's gnarly. And, like, I don't know. It's hard to, like, where do you start, right? Because, again, this isn't like a political podcast, and we're not very deep political dudes. We have our own opinions, but we don't project them that hard. It's just kind of a sad state of affairs. And the sad part is it's a really fun time for unfortunately all this stuff to be happening. Like,
yeah,
we're making huge life moves. It's the start of summer in Sac, and like the weather's coming back around. The world's starting at some level to open back up. And then, there's the Floyd shit. And it really, I think that, this is just my personal opinion. This doesn't reflect our opinions or anyone else's. But, like, I'm not entirely sure this would have been as big of a revolt if everyone wasn't cooped up for the last couple months.
I 100% agree, yeah.
Not at all justifying it. But, like, this has happened before.
Yeah.
And it didn't start a world war.
Dude, it's just wild. Like, the timing of it, or
it couldn't have
everything
been
2020,
better, and it couldn't have been worse.
100%, yeah. It's just like we started the year off on such a bad note. Then one big traumatic event happened to where people have this number one, free time.
Yeah.
All these people that are stuck in their homes.
Yep.
And then
40 million people in unemployment. Like,
yeah,
everyone's got the time to pay attention.
we know these people are frustrated.
Yep.
They're in their homes. Number one, dealing with family or loved ones that are getting on their f***ing nerves.
100%.
And then one
and annoyed with not working, annoyed with not being able to do the things they want to do.
Pay their
it's
bills,
nice to
all
shit
that.
Out. Yeah, like people want to get out and do shit, and there's just nothing to do, and you can't pay your bills, and you can't afford to do the things that are starting to open back up.
Yeah.
It's a hard time to be anybody.
Yep. Yeah, so that was kind of just god awful timing.
Yeah, and of course, like that cop dude. Like nobody agrees with that guy. And the hard part, go ahead for it.
Is bullshit because I'm not really gonna portray my opinion on anything that much, but it's bullshit that he got arrested.
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Bailed out today.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
Dude, so fucking easily bailed out.
Yeah. Crowdfunded.
Yeah.
What was it? $1.5 million.
I think it was only one.
Okay. I think the total on the GoFundMe is like 1.5. But
okay, that makes sense.
It just generated so quick that it overpaid.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
I mean, I don't really care
dude.
who you are or what your views are. If you
for sure.
don't think that incident was wrong, I don't know. That was pretty f***ed up.
Yeah, 100%. And then all the stuff that came out after, right? So, like, dude had 10 years of bad reports that were all fireable offenses, but cops are union, right? And they're union protected. So that dude didn't get fired because the union shut it down for 10 years. And then he does this to a guy he worked with 10 years ago at a club. They were bouncers. So there's already, like, some premeditated, like, you already know this guy.
Yep.
You already have a problem with it. So in your head, I'm not giving liberties to anything on this dude. Like, you've already been in a point in your head where you're like, this guy, right?
Yep.
And you're like, at this point, you're like, I see a window of opportunity. And at that point, it's premeditated murder, which is a whole different legal thing. And then you take liberties as a cop to justify it. And then there's videos, surveillance videos from the business, like 2 doors down from the whole thing. And when that dude was unconscious and like he wasn't technically dead yet. He was just like smoked.
Yeah.
They scraped him up, put him in the car, and all the cops made a meat shield, and that dude wailed on him in the back of the car. Just beat the living shit out of an unconscious dude.
Oh, that's f***ed up.
The whole thing's f***ed up.
Huh. Yeah, the whole thing is f***ed up. But
And like, I'll throw my opinion out there, and I don't, again, my opinion does not reflect your opinion.
Yeah.
We haven't had this conversation really. So like, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I'll stand up to it, but it's not my, like, this is just me. I'm not a cop, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. Like, I've had my own run-ins with the cops, and that, I'm leaving that 100% out of it.
Yeah.
My childhood neighbor was a cop who, not naming towns, not naming names, because that's not the point, regularly beat his wife, and still goes to a business that you and I frequent and hits on the 18-year-old chicks, and he's 50. The neighbor, a child friend of mine's dad is a cop, horrid human being. Like, the cops in the town that you and I grew up in, and I know this because it happened the other day, the sheriff's office deputies go to the parties with the coke dealers and hang out with them all night at house parties with kids that are underage and are just off duty, right? This is my opinion. If you want to be a cop and enforce the rules that government set, you have to put yourself above, quote unquote, me, average people, right?
Yep.
You have to live, I'm not saying
at all times, too.
And nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But if you want to be given a badge of being elite on your shift, you kind of have to act that way.
Yep.
And I had a rad talk with my mom about this, and my mom and I have varying opinions on the same regard. Like, she's in between, and I'm like, not gonna be screaming FTP on a street corner, but like, I'll throw the ACAB thing out there. That's not that big of a deal for me.
Yeah.
I'm not, and when I say that, I read a really interesting thing that one of my friends sent me who kind of feels the same way. But I'm not saying, so ACAB is all cops are bastards, right? Like, I'm not saying every cop's a bad dude. I would never say that. I know very nice cops. I have friends that are cops. I don't have their numbers personally. But if I did, if I was in a pickle, then be like, dude, I'm about to get jumped by anybody.
Yeah.
Chances are in 5 minutes I'll probably be there. There's a couple dudes in our town who are like regulars at where I work, and they're nice ass dudes. But my viewpoint is that you're still protected on the same union situation that's protecting dudes who are the alternative that I've already named.
Yeah.
And you work alongside them. So I'm not saying you're a bad person by any stretch of the imagination. And I want to make it, again, I've said it twice already, but like, I'm not speaking for you. This is just me. And I understand that I don't necessarily have the most popular opinion. For people our age at this point, when you look at social media, it seems like I have the majority opinion.
Yeah.
But even before all this, cops have never made me feel safe.
Yep.
I've never walked into a place with a cop and been like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
They make me uneasy, and I'm the guy who should feel the safest. And we are
100%.
again, middle-class white dudes, from a suburban area who is, we grew up in a town that was, if you look at government and all that stuff, we grew up in a pretty yeehaw town where we should be even safer than we already, are entitled to be.
Yeah.
That's just me. Then you have all the videos of people taking liberties. It's gnarly, dude, because we've been painted with people who are not entirely like cops. I would make a light argument that cops are never in our adult years painted as good people, because we all have 4K cameras in our pockets, right?
Yep.
So my mom grew up, or my parents, or people of the generation ahead of us grew up being like cops are the law, and we grew up with like all these murders and stuff, which of course are the bad apples, right? And I'm, again, making that clear. But we grew up with all that exposure that didn't exist before. So it's crazy. And that's what leads to this, right? You get everyone cooped up, you get all of this, and then you start getting protests, which are amazing and cool. Like, stand for what you believe in or you're going to get wrecked. And then you get rioting, which is fucked up.
Yep.
And that's hard because it's not a lot of big businesses. I understand people are mad at Amazon and Target, and Walmart, and whatever, have their own opinions. But we're in a state of chaos.
Dude, it is fucking outrage on
small
businesses, anything they can get their hands on. And it's like, all it is these people have no fucking care or anything about the protest.
Yep.
They just have all this built up anger, or who knows? They may have some 100%. Home problems, whatever.
Yep. They have backgrounds.
They have backgrounds.
And
100%.
Everyone's got their own, not discrediting that.
Correct. But this is not the time, the place, or how to take out the anger in the form of rioting.
Yeah. And it's
unfortunate.
It's so hard too, because could not agree with you more. But like, chaos affords action, right?
Yep.
We're in a state of chaos, and action is protests. And then when there is a spark, it becomes rioting. And then when the riots become late enough, it's looting.
Yeah.
And protests, yeah. Rioting, not cool. Looting, go yourself.
Yep.
But the unfortunate part is, even based on the state of how our country was built, the only thing that causes change, unfortunately, is mass rioting.
Yep.
I mean, look at every like major change that's happened in our government has been rioting, right? So like, it sucks and it's not right, and it turns, because it goes from like people versus situation to like one punch is thrown, and then it's 50,000 people versus government, establishment, police, and then you have every good example of a bad example, and then all of a sudden comes this rush of people looting. That sucks.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it too, is like,
it's three groups of people, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a little overlap, but like, it's not the same people rioting as the same people protesting, technically.
Yeah.
But it's for sure not the same people protesting as it is looting.
Correct.
100%. And that's the sad part. But people will always take advantage of situations. It's just
it just sucks because it's like
humans.
So my whole kind of opinion on a cop, I'll throw that one out there, or cops in general.
Okay.
I wanted to be a cop kind of growing up. So I never thought bad about them, but 100% I agree with you I've never felt like comfortable, safe, anything like that.
I'm
like,
on edge all the time.
I'm on edge when I'm around them.
Yeah.
But anyway, that had...
And you have no legal... I mean, you got like a parking ticket one time. Like, we don't have... I mean, I got myself in trouble once. But, like, we don't have legal... I'm not scared from my own historical issues.
And it's not like we have freaking...
And we're white as shit.
Warrants for arrest, probation officers freaking leaning over us. No.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
Like, we're the safe guys, unfortunately. White privilege has afforded us the availability to where we should probably feel safer when cops are around.
But we don't.
We don't at all.
Yeah. But anyway, to get to that point, cops just flex their power so easily.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that was my belief of how this whole shit came about, is because continuously, recently, cops have just been like flexing their power. Yep. And it's bullshit to watch a lot of the news like clips and stuff.
Dude, and it's so hard.
Cops are just shoving innocent people down. It's like
old ass people.
Yeah, that one where they shoved down an old man and he was bleeding.
And did you see the thing today?
No, I didn't.
And again, we don't talk about like presidential stuff on here because again, we like to keep it light.
Yeah.
Trump came out today and was like, "Oh, he might have been affiliated with Antifa or whatever."
Who cares? He didn't do shit.
Exactly.
He was just standing there.
That's exactly it. Trump said something, and I'm not quoting because I don't have it up. But he said something along the lines of like he had like a signal jammer in his pocket. He could have had a signal jammer. It's like, bro, that dude was like 75.
Yeah.
He was in Korea. Like who?
Yeah.
What?
That's weird. Anyway, so I just think that like cops flex their power so much, or have the option to flex their power so much.
Yeah.
That
and it's
some people. I hate to justify this, but
yeah.
I do feel like some of the rioting is coming from people are trying to say like, you, we have more power because we have the numbers.
100%, yeah.
And that's where that's kind of come from.
You can't arrest everybody, right?
100%.
That's why rioting, or that's why looting happens. There's 40 people in the store and one person takes the fall.
Absolutely
39 people get
not justified. Yeah. And going about it that way, to me, is the same as saying like, hey, you guys can keep doing what you're doing as a cop and flex your power because we're doing this and we're saying it's okay. Type thing. So I don't know. I got kind of a weird opinion on it, but
no, I mean like, and that's fully justified. Like the whole thing's right? Like,
yeah.
And then you have videos of cops dropping off truckloads of bricks, and construction companies who obviously have a vested interest in destruction.
Yep.
They'll get to rebuild it in 6 months or 2 months or a week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's cops and construction companies helping each other. There's videos of them unloading piles of bricks on Melrose, which is one of the biggest, like, it's f***ing insane. The one that just validates my own opinion, which again is just an opinion, is like, dude, like, and we had a good friend who lives in Santa Monica who was there for it. And when I say that, I think you know exactly who it is.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where like the police departments are posting these pictures of the cops like kneeling with protesters, and it's just like a beautiful picture. And this happened in every major rioting city in the U.S. that I have seen. At least, you know, that's a pretty general statement, but I saw like most of them. And then you watch the videos that people are posting, and everybody takes a knee, everyone stand-ups and claps, and it rains tear gas from every high-rise ever, because you got every protester in the same thing, and you got them to shut up because they all thought the cops are finally on their side, and then it turns into Mayhem City, and it's gnarly.
Yeah,
and it's super gnarly, and it happened. People were threatening my neighborhood. I live in a rich ass neighborhood in the capital of California, and don't get me wrong, like our governor's an idiot, my opinion.
Yep.
And I don't think anyone at this point's like calling that one off.
No,
that's a pretty much like 99% opinion, but like. Bro, I live in a quiet neighborhood in Sacramento. I live in the second richest neighborhood per square foot in the United States. Not in the United States. In California.
California, yeah.
And, I mean, at least for the next few weeks I do. But how? You know what I mean? Why are people coming to my street? I don't live anywhere near the Capitol. There's no businesses. It's just residential. And there was people that come and rob the 40s. And on the second note,
I'll tell you why. Because that's a rich-ass area, and people know they're going to be getting good shit.
It's still quarantine, right? So you're going to either loot the businesses that have nobody in them at 11 at night, or you're going to go into people's houses where they're legally allowed to kill you if you step on their property.
True.
And it's quarantine, so everybody's home.
But you got to think about it as, in my opinion,
everybody's stupid.
The people who are looting are absolute pieces of shit.
100%. And loot my ass.
God, please do not take this wrong. I am not categorizing any particular race or people, but if you loot, you're a fucking piece of shit to me.
100%, dude.
You are a piece of shit.
There's like rich as shit white kids stealing surfboards in Santa Monica. Like, could have paid for that.
But my thing is, the people who are looting are dumb enough
100%.
And I guess ballsy enough and probably have some kind of weapon.
Ignorant enough.
100%. And have some type of weapon to where they would not give a single looting someone in the neighborhood that you live in.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's insane.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, too, like, we've mentioned it, and I don't know. Anyone that knows us knows. Who gives a shit? We're from Placerville, right? 10,000 person town. It's a 45-minute outskirt of Sacramento, where I'm moving back right now. My little restaurant, which is like the most poppin' restaurant, the whole main street of that town, which is like historic as shit, because it's 15 minutes from where gold was discovered, got huge threats from SAC and beyond because of what it's named.
Yep.
And it shut down every business on Main Street and anybody who follows me on Instagram probably saw this, but boarded up. They hit some spots in Aldo Hills, which is 20 minutes from us. And we sat out in front of the shop because it's not technically our property, so we can't have any weapons of sorts. But
we sat out with AKs.
not legally. There were some people who hit some shit. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But we're playing by the rules, and we sat out there from probably 5 to about midnight with a 12-pack of Modelo on the curb, like with the cops.
Just camped out with chairs.
Dude, no, on the curb. Everyone's sitting there. Almost every business had about 3 people sitting there. And for other reasons, our boss couldn't be there. So me and the milkman and other friends sat out there, and the Army Sergeant Supply and the trading post sold out of knives.
Holy shit.
He said he sold 300 knives that night.
Damn.
Did we all have them?
Yep.
100%. But it wasn't, we're going to protest Hangtown, which has nothing to do with race.
So let me ask you a question.
It was loot Hangtown was the movement.
Yeah, that was all it was. Because there was a peaceful protest that was greatly coordinated by, you can say her name, I guess.
Yeah, dude, Lizzie DeBose. That's the homie.
Yeah. And
this is this is 99.8% white town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very non-diverse area where we grew up.
Oh, not at all. And she hosted like this beautiful protest. There's probably 30 people and got shit on. And so they organized another one a few days later. Probably 150 people showed up.
Yep.
Which for a 10,000 person town, getting 150 people between 18 and 35, that's a push because our county's like 65-year-olds.
Yeah.
And it turned into like this gnarly parade of just like motorcycles and hot rods and like people standing outside, peaceful as shit, absolutely beautiful. Cops were not excited because there was that many people on Main Street, and it was tense as shit. Because obviously, like 2 days before, half the businesses were still boarded up, and we've got, for lack of better words, like we have a protest hosted, funded, and like curated by one of the only like black youth in our community, and it's hella people.
Yeah.
On Main Street of historically like a white old people run town with kind of like a gnarly government structure. And you have all the cops in one place, and you got hella angry white kids in one place.
Yeah.
And that's the only threat, I think, at really this point to cops is angry white kids, because we all grew up not entirely thinking that was the law, right?
Yep. Okay, let me get back to this real quick.
Yeah.
So, on the night when everyone was planning on looting,
Yeah.
say you're sitting outside the restaurant and people start breaking in. Is it legal to like fight back?
Self-defense. Yeah, that's a rule everywhere.
But I mean, technically, it's not like
feel-
your property.
Correct.
But if
So I can't-
you feel threatened, so
Yeah.
you guys standing in front of it,
Yep.
they basically have to come through you to get to the restaurant.
Yeah.
You could say you're feeling threatened, right?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially, well, if you're coming to loot, you have something
Yeah.
to break glass,
Yep.
right? So I would assume you have a bat or something. If you take aggressive steps at me, because we looked up all the laws that night, because we were getting like texts from people who live in like the other friend that was there, you know who it is?
Yeah.
They were getting texts from people way out. And they're like, is this really happening? Stay safe, say the whole thing, like whatever.
We had so many National Guard like 15 minutes down the freeway.
Yeah, it was insane, dude. It was gnarly. And they were like, here's all the laws, here's the self-defense things. I mean, there's people possibly, hypothetically, on Main Street with things hidden to defend.
100%. Because there was people in all
Because
sorts of other states with their guns just
dude,
outdrawn.
things
and-
that don't belong in the state legally
Yeah.
under tables.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just one of those things where it's like, A, we're really lucky. What are you going to take for a restaurant? Booze?
Yeah.
What are you going to steal? A couple bottles of whiskey that we bought at dealer price?
Yeah.
It's not substantial, right?
I'd love to see you
because
steal a keg.
yeah, you're not doing it. And I was the key holder that night.
Nice.
So we were just like, we're going down with this bitch. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a business. There's a safe, right? Like, there's cash boxes. We're a restaurant. Did we hide those where nobody's going to find them? 100%. But we just got our jobs back, right?
Yep.
You break the glass door, and start throwing chairs at shit, breaking
You
TVs.
All of
Yeah,
the
what you
restaurant
did is
over.
just took me out of a job again
Yep.
for weeks.
you the restaurant owner. You all these people who are trying to make their goddamn rent and all this
Yeah.
in a time where it's hard to have
Do
a job.
anything, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so up is because there's so many small businesses that got completely over
Yeah.
and just happened to be like wrong place, wrong time.
Yep. And that's
Type
why
thing.
Main Street or Placerville doesn't allow big business. They took a sourdough and co. It's taken like 2 years in paperwork to maybe get approved.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's all small businesses. So everyone's like, hey, for sure, fuck you. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is all we got, right? It's a small town. And then you look at people who are protesting who are famous as shit, dude. We talk about Madison Beer like every episode nowadays, but she got pepper sprayed in Santa Monica just standing there. David
Damn.
Dobrik's out protesting. Do you know what happens if he gets arrested?
Yeah, he gets deported and can't
Deported.
come back.
For like 20 years.
Yeah.
And then you have like people who are like rich and white saying dumb shit. I'm a Saints fan. 100%. Did Bree say some stupid shit? 100%. And well, it wasn't the stupidest thing he's ever said, but it was insanely tone deaf.
Yeah.
But what do you expect? It's a white dude that's been rich for 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not on the same platform. And then you have like Biden today who said, and mind you, we don't announce our stances on things, but these are just the facts. But like, he said something along the lines of like, Martin Luther King didn't have any effect on social or like racist stuff compared to how this George Floyd thing did. I was like, bro, how you were alive for it?
Yeah.
How are you so goddamn tone deaf that you don't remember the dude that started all this? For better, right? Like,
Yep.
all of our friends are Hispanic and Indian and like everything. We grew up like the only culturally diverse part of our county is our generation. So like, how are you that out of touch?
Yeah, no, it's just funny that you said that. I chuckled because for my birthday this past weekend. Sorry, this is totally changing the subject, but
That's good.
for my past
It's good.
or for my birthday this past weekend, Tyler came over and had some other friends come over, and we were the only white people.
Yeah. Those are the homies, though.
Yeah, 100%. So
it's insane. And that's why I think our generation, the whole thing, is just like, how is this still an issue? Because dude.
I don't know, though.
What?
I feel like in 20 years, it's going to be a totally different.
100%.
I think regardless of and this isn't saying that the protests are pointless or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
But I just think that as the power is shifted into this younger generation,
that was the best way to put it. Yes.
There's going to be bigger changes that are in the proper direction that basically we're trying to get to now, but clearly aren't working.
There's so much friction.
Yep.
With like a 20-year gap, right? Everybody 40, and this is just my experience. Everybody 35 to 55. Let's pull it out as a card. Is like in between, which is rad, right? Because that means that they're not one way or the other. And so in 20 years, it's going to be 100% different because there's already like a weak spot.
Yep.
And not saying that everybody over that age is like inherently racist or has like ill will, but we're getting to a point of social change that's like undeniable.
Yeah.
And there will always be racist people. There's always going to be whatever. But like you obviously want that to be like as minimal as possible.
Yeah. So
whatever. Like the whole thing's gnarly and like it's
Yep.
But what are you going to do? You know, this is what we're living through. So like it's nuts. And it's so nuts to see it in a small town from two white dudes.
Yeah.
Because it's affecting our lives and we're not even around it. Well, from where we're from, like we're surrounded by it. We just don't hear it from. I mean, my boss of my restaurant is 26 and brown. It's unreal. And I'm not easily offended at all. I mean, we're the biggest smartasses in the world. We say like dumbass jokes, obviously, all the time. It's so nuts. The shit I hear, people will be like, "You're not the boss. It's the Australian white guy," and you're like, "Nope, it's this chick with a dude name."
Oh, really?
All the time.
Huh?
Like, oh, here's a beer reps. Here's a beer. It's like a whiskey barrel aged, whatever. I know you're probably more of a margarita girl, and all of us are like, "You've gotta be shitting me."
Damn.
It's constant, and it's like, "Hey, you want to speak to the manager? Here's the manager of this entire restaurant that is like renowned from Tahoe to Sac. We get sent people daily. That's not the boss. She's a brown girl." And you're like, "Oh shit, you said it. You said it's a brown girl."
Fuck.
And you know what you did? You said it to her face.
Yeah.
Because we're a bunch of white kids serving, and what does it matter, right? To us, doesn't. To a 65-year-old white guy who's trying to get a reservation for 4 on Friday at 6 p.m.
It means a lot, apparently.
It apparently doesn't matter. And you know what you just didn't get? A reservation for 4 at 6 p.m. on Friday. Because all of a sudden, we're pretty full. And do you leave a Yelp review? Yep. And what are you going to say? I called the brown girl brown and didn't get a reservation? Nope.
Either way, it's a lose-lose situation.
100%. Everybody loses. It sucks, dude. And it's so unreal. I mean, everything that's happening right now is inherently for the better. The looting sucks. Shit getting destroyed sucks. Is it fundamentally... is rioting justified? Inherently, yes. Because nothing's going to change until there's like a spark.
It
just sucks that has to
level
be the spark
that the riots get
taken
to.
For sure.
Like the rioting on the roads and stuff against the police, I think is one thing.
Yep.
Then when you start, And really, that's who they're trying to fucking argue with.
Yeah.
Is the police
because
force.
the police are the floor level, like, representation of authority.
Of the government.
Are
and
they
authority,
also fucking up in the meantime? Yep. And does that rise tensions? 100%.
Yeah.
Is everybody over the whole entire establishment of government at this point? Yeah. We're trapped inside for months. We all lost our jobs. Like, everybody's tired of the whole thing. Did $1,200 last 3 months? No.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unemployment was dope, but I mean, what? Your own girlfriend hasn't got her tax return. She did her taxes in March.
Yeah.
Not her 1,200, not anything. Like, people are froze, dude. Can you imagine if you were like a dad of 3,
It'd be fucked up.
lost both your jobs, and you're just like hustling for kids, and there's just like nothing,
Yeah, it would suck.
and you can't even get the shit that you've been owed for 4 months. That no way.
Yeah.
But hey, this is a comedy podcast. Who's getting mad?
Yeah.
But whatever, man. And it's, I don't know, life's crazy.
Yeah, well, should we cut the serious shit? And
Yeah, that. Yeah. I mean, it had to be said, but the serious shit. Like, we're not here to... Everybody's got an opinion, and it's all in their Instagram stories. So that's ours, and now we don't have to post it, and good enough, dog.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut an ad and get fun.
Let's do it. All right. We'll get back to some normal, fun, good enough podcast here.
Yeah. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
That whole life thing.
Yeah. It's been a weird 2 weeks. We have
dude.
not recorded.
We had so much going on outside of what the world's got going on.
Yeah, I fully moved within the past. I moved a week and a half ago.
Sold everything you owned.
Yeah, 100%. Everything basically but my motorcycle.
Got a convertible and a new tattoo and had a midlife crisis.
Yeah. No.
No, I'm just giving you shit.
Did think about getting a mullet. Might still do that for fun.
I feel like you need to. Why not?
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, just been a crazy 2 weeks. Anyway, we will get into some normal stuff here. We're going to start with some fan questions.
Yes, please.
First off, and I got 2 here.
Okay.
If you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it be and why?
I would probably pick the most hungover picture of you I have because I'm a dick. Oh, you know what? We might have talked about this at one point. Sierra Steakout. We went on this like motorcycle ride. It was sponsored by 805 and Sailor Jerry, and it was free drinks as long as they lasted. And it was like, the 2 days, 2 nights, but skewed. So like kind of half day, full day, half day. And when we left, we were so hungover that I felt like I was dying, and we had to ride 2 hours home. And there was a photographer that came by and was snapping our pictures for some publication, and I regret not getting his name, but we were tying a beer case onto my bike that was ripped and wet and with like 2 beers in it.
It was sagging, like folded over.
Oh, it was so
barely
bad.
held the beer.
And we pack super light, but like I felt like I was dying, and I almost shit myself when I woke up. And you wake up in like, anytime you wake up in a hot tent, it's just not good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You wake up
Miserable.
in a hot tent, hungover. And then I was packing my bike, and at that point, we're not putting any effort into packing small, so my pack was destroyed. It looked like an Arby's sandwich, just folding out everywhere. It was really bad.
So it looked like a disgusting vagina.
Curtain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Looked like a roast beef sandwich.
Yeah.
But, dude, yeah. There's a picture of us that's floating on the earth somewhere where we both looked at the camera and then we were just like, and I would post that because that is how I feel in life at this point.
Not to mention we haven't showered. Or
In days.
Wow. We have showered.
Yeah. Once in a while.
On that trip, we did not shower because we were camping.
Yep. And it was middle of summer. Late
Yeah.
summer, actually, even worse.
Yeah.
I've dreamed, I think about it once a week what those pictures look like and how destroyed and like disheartened we looked. I had a dead phone and no headphones, and like everything was bad. Like nothing was working in our favor other than the fact that we woke up and the bike's fired.
Yeah.
And I have always wanted to see those, but I think that would be the funniest picture in history. And why would I put it up? Because good enough. We woke up and everything was good enough.
Yeah.
How about you?
there's a few that come to mind, but
Yeah.
I think the first one, I would partner with McDonald's, and I would have it be a picture of you, which you might remember.
Oh,
It was
no.
one day, I don't know if we were working or
Okay.
what, but we stopped into a McDonald's, and you had just like shoved a whole
Oh, dude.
burger in your mouth,
100% remember this.
and it was like one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. And you were like full bore, like crying, just like
Yeah, that was
burger
my,
in your mouth.
I just deleted my Facebook from when I was a kid, and that was the profile picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have that be the picture, and it be
It's
some
so
type of
good.
like McDonald's ad.
We had just bought the bug. That's what it was. We were driving home from getting the bug.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bought my dream car when I was 18 at the time. That was my dream car.
Hey, that is a perfect roll into the next question, actually. If you could turn back time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell yourself?
Wow. Do you have an answer for this? Because I might need a second. That's a loaded 18.
I
So what?
Did not read this question until just now. So
Wow. Okay, we're 25. 18 is just, I turned 18 the month before you graduated high school. Jesus. And you were what? Our summer after.
yeah. Dude, there's a
What?
lot of things.
What
I
would
wish.
I tell myself? Wow, that's such an interesting question because like, everything I just worked for just took a shit. Realistically, since I was 18, I went to college for 6 years, right?
Yep.
And the job I worked all that time for, I hated, and then got laid off because of all this COVID shit.
So that's kind of on the topic.
I would say this is so general and stupid, but I would be like, just don't take everything so seriously. Because when I'm doing something, it's 100%.
Yeah.
And I can do it with multiple things at a time, but when I'm doing it, nothing else matters. If I'm working out and going to work, I'm working every day, and I'm working out every day.
Yep.
If I'm painting, I've never painted, but like, it'd be like, I'm going to do the Van Gogh thing,
Yeah.
and when I nail a painting, I'm never doing it again, but that's all I did with all my free time.
Oh, yeah. And I'm definitely the same way.
Yeah, you for sure are. So I would just be like, my personal one, don't take everything so seriously because everything matters, but like, it's not that. Everything's fine. You have time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a wild question to think about. 18 feels like so long ago now.
I think, and I don't know if this would have been worse off or better. I would kind of have to see like maybe 5 years down the line from now
for sure. That'd be very
to
interesting.
give myself the advice. But one thing that comes to mind now is maybe like, hey, don't rush into college if you don't know what you want to do.
Dude.
Because you could get a job, save so much fucking money, and go back to college at any time.
150%.
Yeah, and figure out exactly what you want to do. Whereas I feel like we're just kind of forced into it. And
Oh, 100%.
I quit my job. I didn't get fired.
Yep.
And it was like I kind of quit because I didn't like what I was doing. And I kind of want to explore some other venues, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it, comes to question like, did I choose the right major?
100%.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to change mine. I'm going to say, and this is so like stoner and I don't smoke weed, but like, don't listen to all the, if I could tell myself at 15, I'm going to bend the rules here. Don't listen to what all the teachers tell you in high school.
yeah.
Because that was just like, oh, you're a senior? Did you apply for every college you ever dreamed of? Like, do this, like SAT, like everything, do 100% because your whole life in high school is to get into a college. Do they care what you want to do when you get to college? No, because they're in the business of like putting people in those positions.
Yeah.
And I get it. We couldn't have got our jobs without college.
Yeah.
100%. But did I waste a year of community college just trying shit out while doing my GE? Yeah. It was that luckily I went the GE route and didn't spend 20 grand doing it because you picked something from the start and stuck with it.
Yep.
Which is why you end up in 4 years and I end up in 6. But Christ, man, can you imagine if like that pressure wasn't so big?
Yeah, and then it's just like I always come back to the fact that I know a bunch of people who didn't go to college that made like say at 18 they probably weren't making 40,000, but
No.
say making 20, 30,000 a year maybe,
Yeah.
and then progressively worked up within the 4 years that I was going to college, paying for my education. They're just stacking money.
Stacking money.
So by the time we graduated, because the majority of people right out of high school still live with their parents.
100%.
Well,
what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You're in school all the time.
Yeah, so those people are just stacking money, not going to college, and then end up buying a house, have a good paying job,
Yeah.
and here I am 4 years later, a step back, and is the degree really gonna like match that 4 year gap of money
100%.
that they made? Because even like a low paying job at like 30,000 a year
Is minimum
for
wage.
4 years for me
30
to make
grand
back.
is 40 hours a week at Walmart. And you know what 30 grand is? Below the poverty line.
Yeah. So
Unreal.
it's crazy for me to think about the fact that, so that's $120,000 over 4 years.
Yeah. That's wild.
And then on top of that, I was negative because student debt.
Right.
And so it's like,
And living expenses to live where you went.
oh yeah, stupid crazy too where I lived. So yeah, it's just wild. But anyway, that was a long answer to that.
Oh, you know what? If I go back to 18 and tell myself what to do, I would just say be a firefighter.
Yeah.
And then at 25 or 30, be a part-time firefighter and be set for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Except for the fact that it's hot as shit out right now, and I would hate to be out in the sun fighting fires.
Well, okay. If I knew I was single and no kids and no responsibility at 25, if you told me that at 18, I'd be a firefighter. It's unlimited money
Yeah.
with insane benefits. And then if you have that much seniority, if you got hired at 19 or whatever,
Yeah.
dude, come on. At 30, hey, I want 25 hours a week. Keeps your benefits, still getting paid. They're still paying your retirement. Count me in.
Yeah.
Because then you're working like 224s.
Pretty wild, but hey, here we are.
Damn, that was a good-ass question, though.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, well, on the flip side of that, I went to the casino today.
Oh, shit. And full circle.
Yeah.
That just opened.
Yeah, they did. I think they reopened either this weekend or on Monday or something.
Yeah.
And
I we got to go to Tahoe.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if their casinos are open up there yet.
I heard it was this week sometime. Maybe it's tomorrow, but...
Okay. Yeah, so I lost a bet with my friend Mark, and our bet was that the loser had to put $20 down on roulette on either black or red.
Okay.
And so I lost. So I had to put down $20. If I won, I gave Mark the winnings, which was $20, and then I would get my 20 back. If I lost, neither of us get anything, but obviously I lose.
Right.
Anyway, so we met up at the casino after he got off work today and did that. And dude, it was just weird. They are super strict about wearing a face mask, which was
crazy.
Also really funny because
a lot of people won't let you wear a face mask into business.
Yeah.
In the same county.
Yep. But what I thought was pretty funny was that, so right as you walk in, for those of you guys who don't know Red Hawk Casino, you get out of the elevators, you walk straight onto like the open floor, and there's a lady or man, whoever's on shift at the time, at like a podium guarding people, letting them in one at a time. And you have to hand sanitize your hands, which is fine. Everyone has to wear a mask, which is fine.
Right.
But they allow smoking in a casino.
Right.
So the first thing I see is like right next to the podium, there's a guy without a mask on because you can't put a cigarette in your mouth when you have a fucking mask on.
You just cut a hole in it.
I mean, you could, but no, he just didn't have one on. So I was like, mandatory mask, but you can take it off to smoke. I was like,
irony, right?
It's fucking stupid.
It's
so
the whole. Hey, that is the world we live in.
Yeah.
At the restaurant, we can't put any chairs on ends of tables and stuff, which is turning old people into a ride of our own. But if you get a big booth, you can. It's a booth for 4. You can stuff 8 people in it, but you can't sit at the bar. So you can sit shoulder to shoulder with anyone you choose if you decide to, including a stranger. But we can't sit a single person at a 20-person bar top.
Yeah, that's wild.
And science.
Yep.
You know? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the casino. I'm sure you guys want to know how that ended. I fucking lost.
Which is new.
And lost. And lost and lost again.
Yeah. This
and
is
my story,
not normal.
Or my this shit sucks, is that casinos are fucking rigged right now. Granted, I did not lose a lot of money. I was betting small.
They did in the last couple months.
They probably lost so much money in the past few months that our theory was that they had plenty of time to rig all the fucking machines so that they could make some money back. So we were there for maybe 30 minutes, and we both left with less money than what we walked in with. So that was kind of a bummer.
The rumor has it that casino in particular, which is not a large casino, Thursday through Sunday nights, sometime after like 4, who cares?
They raised their winning
profit after mortgage, bills, electricity, staff, food, everything. We're talking pure 100% taxable profit, $1 million an hour.
Holy shit.
So if they're making $1 million an hour 4 nights a week, and the other who gives a shit hours are like $500,000 to anywhere in between, you bet your ass closing for a month or 6 weeks. They felt that shit for sure.
Yeah.
That's like, dude, hey, a lot of hours.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, so
that, man.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer, but didn't really lose too much money, so I wasn't really that concerned.
Right.
But it was fun to go back to the casino.
Humbling to lose money for the first time in a while.
Yeah. Had a good run, so it's a good way to end it. Did you have a This Shit Sucks?
My This Shit Sucks was minute 15, 16, 17, 18, and it was just being alive right now. Yeah. There's a certain level of it. This Shit Sucks is people who don't feel anything about the current situation, because if you don't feel anything about it, you're probably the worst. So This Shit Sucks was the entire first half of the podcast and everything we talked about.
Perfect. All right, well,
yes.
Our audience is backlashing at us right now.
Yeah. Shelby's This Shit Sucks is everybody that says all lives matter.
Also, if you guys heard loud pots and pans banging earlier, an ice cream tub jarring open, that was all Shelby, who could not wait until after the podcast was done.
That's okay.
Shout out Shelby.
Life's hard.
Anyway, back to, let's go what in the Sam Hill.
Okay.
This is a good one for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Man finds, well, first off, would you ever do HVAC?
Do I have a kid?
No.
No.
Okay, what about $150 a year salary?
Maybe.
Okay, how about this? Man finds 40 baby snakes living inside home air conditioner. How about now?
Hey, for sure no.
Bro,
no.
40 fucking snakes.
That's a lot. Hey,
absolutely not.
Dude.
Dude, no. I don't like snakes, let alone 40 of them.
Yeah, a large litter of serpents. For sure no.
Literally says serpent invasion.
I just hate. Hey, why snakes? They move and they don't have arms and legs. For sure that because they're aliens or something.
Yeah.
No. And then 40?
Well, the mother laid. This says the mother apparently laid eggs inside the air conditioner. And they just recently hatched. Yeah.
No.
Bullshit. On a little lighter note here.
Yeah, dude. Hey. No.
Yeah.
End of game. For
Good
sure
to know. There was a man, and I can't think of what his name is, but an older guy. Let's see. What is his name? Forrest Fenn.
Bad name.
Yeah. he lives in New Mexico, and he planted he planted a treasure chest in the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, dude, he's the treasure guy.
Yeah. So treasure stash worth over $1 million was found in the Rocky Mountains after decade-long search.
People like died looking for that thing.
Yeah, a guy finally found it.
Oh my God.
Called this guy, sent him like pictures of it and everything to validate it. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, he said he just kind of put it out there in 2010 and shared clues to the whereabouts on his website and in a poem he published in his autobiography.
Unreal.
He estimated that 350,000 people had tried to find the treasure, some quitting their jobs outright to search for it, and select few died in the search. But yeah.
A select few. Fate selected them.
Yeah.
Dude, you quit your job to treasure hunt for only $1 million. Don't get me wrong.
The thing, too, is...
so much money. But also, not that much money.
But they didn't even know what was inside. Like, he just said...
It could have just been like a fruit roll-up.
Yeah, they just said it was a treasure chest, so...
Can you imagine if it was just like a collection of ring pops and it looks like a lot of cool stuff, but just candy?
I mean, to some extent, that's what it was. It was animal figures, Chinese jade faces, emerald rings, and other exotic items. The value came mostly from the gold nuggets and coins that were left, and then obviously the emerald rings. But it's not like he just left like stacks of hundreds in there.
He was like, hey, you earned it. Now earn it again.
Exactly.
Sell your shit.
That's going to be hard to turn into physical cash.
Yeah. I would be so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I only had one article this week, and it was... I didn't even read the whole thing because the only thing that matters is the...
Headline.
And it was prisoner who died and was brought back to life claims his life sentence is technically ended. What's your ruling, Judge?
So he served life because he died.
Right.
Now he came back to life, so technically he's a rebirth. Let him go.
That's what I'm thinking. He went as far as dying for the cause. Yeah, you win. Hey, you cheated the system.
So did he get the death sentence, or did he die on his own?
Hey, if Amazon can write off $20 billion in like money, I'm not mad at Amazon, but I'm just saying if they can write off $20 billion, this guy wrote off his own life, and his life wasn't worth $20 billion.
Yeah.
And he won. He won. You win.
That's wild.
You win. It's fine. You win.
Yeah, well, good for him.
Yeah.
So I take it he's still locked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems normal. Yeah. Bummer that we aren't the judge for him.
Bro, he'd be out.
Yep. Okay.
Cheat codes.
Hey, have you guys gotten any gin bottles to work recently?
Yeah.
This is not a joke. This is a news article. Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you guys opened them and checked them?
Not personally with my mouth, but but like there's fluid in them.
Well, so was this place. Distillery recalls gin bottles mistakenly filled with hand sanitizer.
Okay. You know what? That's fine. That's worth more right now.
It is worth more.
Yep.
But could you imagine going to pour that and just like oozes out?
Oh,
and
you
like,
have
what the
a hard week. Your wife's been a real bitch. Work was hard, but like you have a job, so you're thankful. Your kids have been shrewds. You go to a restaurant. It's Friday. You get a gin and tonic, and it's hand sanitizer
and tonic.
Dude,
oh, that's
for sure. Eating a shotgun bullet.
Dude, that is terrible.
That's the worst.
Just sludge down your throat.
Also, tell your neighbors I'm sorry for scream laughing.
Yeah, well, they can deal with it.
Yeah, you rent an apartment. Also, I would cry. And by cry, I mean cry. And I only let myself cry once a year. And I usually it's watching...
The Notebook?
No. God
The Bachelor?
damn it. What's with the stupid-ass dog?
Marley and Me?
Marley and Me, yeah.
Stupid-ass dog.
I watch it once a year to see if I still have feelings. And then I just cry and it's over.
Okay, I got 3 more here.
Holy shit, nice.
Sorry, I was so bored today, I started pulling up shit.
You're good. You're unemployed, dude. It's the best.
Headline. After giving birth, I had violent thoughts about hurting my baby. Now I know why. So this lady suffered from postpartum obsessive compulsive disorder. And
Crazy.
she claimed that she was not depressed or sad. She did not have a hard time bonding with her baby and did not want to harm herself or the infant.
Crazy.
But something was wrong in her head.
Had no dad.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I don't feel like reading it. But that headline was what in the Sam hell
Yeah, 100%.
worthy.
Yeah, for sure. If you feel like that at all, don't do that. Because you're just go to a psychologist.
Yeah. Another headline here. I started my period at age 10. My mom made it the best day ever. Now, I read that
I'm
headline,
already frustrated with this.
and I was like, how in the fuck could she make it the best day ever?
Right. Because here's your flip side. I got my first boner today, right? My dick is harder than a diamond in an ice storm. And you know what my dad did? Made it the best day ever.
Yeah.
Now, it's June, which is Gay Pride Month, but it's not incest month.
Yeah.
Because that sounds gay as shit,
Okay.
right?
Yep. So
Now,
here we go.
this sounds bad too.
Let me read into this article.
Okay.
Or read you this excerpt of the
I'm
article.
scared.
It was a school day morning, 2 days before my 10th birthday, when I went to the bathroom and noticed some small spots of blood. I can only imagine what I would have felt if my mom hadn't
It was my
prepared
beaver.
me. But as it was, I wasn't afraid. I called for my mom, and she came quickly, scooping me into a hug before I could even pull my pants up.
Okay. Too close. Was she on the
yeah.
other side of the door?
I don't know.
It smells like blood.
I'll never forget standing in the bathroom, pants around my ankles, laughing as she hugged me tight. As she showed me the best way to clean stains from my underwear. You use cold water so the stain doesn't set. She turned
thanks
to me.
for the lesson. Thank you.
Yeah. She turned to me with a serious look and told me something that I wish more parents, teachers, and media would explicitly state.
Don't wear white pants.
This doesn't make you a grown-up. You might hear that starting your period makes you a grown woman, but it doesn't. You're the same as you were yesterday. You're a kid. You just have your period now.
Wow.
All right. Now, please tell me where that made somehow that be the best day of her life.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, it's not.
That was the whole story.
You were like, dude, cooter blood. And your mom was like, scoop, we got you. I
Bro.
was outside of the door waiting for this moment.
Her mom hugged her ass naked,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
all of a sudden it's the best day of her life.
And her mom was like, you're not an adult, even though this is the moment that, quote unquote, makes you a woman. And I was like, sitting there with blood running down my leg, being like, everything is great. This is the best day of my life. And then we went for ice cream.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
On
the
this
best day of your
note,
life, for sure.
for those of you guys listening,
Squirting.
male and female, we have different topics for both of you.
Oh.
If you're a female
Okay.
and you have a funny period story,
Oh, yeah.
send it into
Or
our,
like just a bad one.
yeah, send it into our email where we
Please.
can anonymously read it to the podcast for people's laughs. Our email is goodenoughpod69@gmail.com.
Still probably the greatest email of all time.
Yeah, if you're a guy and you have a good boner story,
Yeah.
shoot it to us.
Yeah. Teacher calls on you. You're rock hard. You got to go to the board.
Yeah, some
Pitch-
shit like that.
Pitch in a pant.
Make
tent.
us laugh.
Please.
Lastly, this article here, just going into the headline, I give orgasms to 5,000 women a day, but I don't touch any of them.
Okay. So
is-
you have an accent. We get it.
It's a woman, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Oh, sorry. It is a guy. His erotic audio
Erotic?
promises women the most intense orgasms of their life
Okay. So
just using his
is
voice.
this perhaps the bartender at Bricks
Yeah.
on the phone?
Oi, mate, would you like a...
Hey, sweetheart, would you like a Pam Martini? And you're like, hey,
no, I'd rather...
soaking wet.
Would you rather have a hand sanitizer and gin? I mean, and
Yeah.
tonic?
Get a Sandy and tonic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
so okay, there's nothing. I think we can both agree on this one. Girls are hot, right? And we don't. It's Pride Month. Go gays, not us, right?
Yeah.
I have never looked at a dude and I was like, those cheeks are crushable. Never once. But
that extra floppy piece of meat in the front is attractive.
Yeah, I down for it. Never once in my whole life.
Yeah.
But
instead, those fun bags.
Yeah.
Different story.
Yeah, those Jimbos bouncing around. I'm chilling.
Booby loobies.
Yeah. But there's nothing, and I think we, again, as a straight dude or a gay dude, there's got to be nothing hot about a guy doing anything erotic with his voice. Oh, not again. I'm gonna bust a nut.
I don't think that's what he's not sex talking though.
Oh,
he's like,
I'm gonna build you a shoe rack, and then I'm gonna take you to Chanel and buy you bags. Like, what do girls want to hear?
That's
You're
the weirdest
busting
thing.
$5,000 in nuts a day.
No.
What are you saying? I'm gonna appreciate you.
He just tells them to like breathe in, breathe out in like certain ways. And because
I've never nutted doing yoga before.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what it is. Yeah. It's hot yoga. You ever heard of it?
Except for hot, it's just a hot dude.
Yeah.
There's no temperature involved.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway.
Wow. Hot yoga. Welcome to episode Who Gives a Shit? Hot yoga.
Yeah. That is
I'm gonna make you dinner with your favorite bottle of wine.
Yeah. The full roundabout podcast for you. We had serious. We had back to our normal selves.
Yeah. We're doing the whole thing. And we're in this bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing it up. Wow. That was good. Hot yoga. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah, weird.
But thanks everybody for sticking with us through Silent Week. We felt it was appropriate, but we want to do the podcast. But there are things bigger than us that needed attention.
Yeah.
So educate yourself. There's still stuff going on daily. Small town, big town, the whole deal. Do your thing. Do your part. Don't be a dick. Go bust nuts to a guy talking about breathing.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, do all that, like Tyler said. And don't forget to tell someone about our podcast.
Yeah.
And have them follow us on Instagram. If you don't follow us, go ahead and check us out on Instagram. Links are in the description.
For sure.
We will re-mention the fact that once we get 500 followers on our Instagram page, we will be giving away a pair of Apple AirPod Pros.
And naked pictures autographed of ourselves.
Which Tyler will be doing exclusively, not me.
Yep, I'll be taking pictures of Ryan.
Which no one would want. So we'll refrain from that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, we hope you guys like this one.
If you follow us, we won't DM you pictures of Ryan's spread cheeks.
True.
Hot yoga.
Feel free to watch our previous podcast if you haven't already.
100%.
And yeah, have a good week. We will see you guys next time. We'll get back into our regular schedule here.
Absolutely. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Enjoy the world opening back up. That's pretty much it, man.
Yeah.
I think we have definitely done our dues today. We made up for lost time.
Yeah.
Cheers. Happy birthday to Ryan. Happy little late birthday. His birthday was the 6th. Congrats on the move. Yeah, man. Cheers. We're out.
Peace.